Hey, Tommy in Howard Beach, New York. Matthew here with freeprescriptionlenses.com, and tonight I'm going to show you how I cut your progressive lenses with Transitions Gray and Crizal Anti-Glare for your Silhouette Series 5369. This is the color 6063. Let me take everything out of the original packaging. Of course, your Silhouette cleaning cloth, your Silhouette magnetic case, and this is actually how they are sent to me. Inside here you get a little bit of junk mail from Silhouette because you just don't get enough in your regular mailbox, but this time you at least get it in multiple languages. So I'll make sure to send you all that. These are the sleeves that come in there. Hate them, I'm going to toss them. These are the hard case, the hard sleeves. I prefer the soft sleeves, and I'll show you in just a little bit, but this is how your frame comes, with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together when they are being shipped from Austria. Does it show it on here somewhere? Made in Austria. Hopefully, I don't know if my camera's going to pick that up or not. Let's see. Made in Austria. Of course, when you take it out of the box, you'll be able to read all that, but actually not without your glasses on, you won't. But that is the color that we will be doing. Silver with a little bit of black trim. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to program your shape into the computer. We're going to do shape 5399. So I'm going to look for the shape. Hang on now, we're getting there, I'm actually using the computer tonight. So for the search criteria, I'm going to go to the Silhouette database and look for shape 5399, 5399. And it pulls up the 53 eye size with a 19 bridge. That's what we're going to do, the 5319. And actually, let me write down your temple length of 150. We're going to do that, so I'm going to select that. I'm going to click on that. That is the shape that we will be cutting. I'm going to send this from this computer over to this one using the gun. Scan this barcode and your shape is about to pull up onto the computer. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Silhouette frame and you'll receive one free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. My receipt has my federal ID tax number, so if you have vision insurance or flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase whether they are prescription or not. Tommy, you know you need prescription. Plus you upgraded to the invisible bifocal, you upgraded to Transitions Gray and Crizal Anti-Glare. You needed that Transitions because you just got a brand new BMW convertible, the 425 I believe, and these Transitions will be nice when you go outside. Now your pupillary distance for your right eye is 31. I'm going to enter that into the computer here. That is 31. The optical center height is 18. I'm going to tap this button and go up in 0.5 millimeter increments until we get to 18. That is good. We're going to cut a progressive lens. I'm going to change this layout chart because it'll show me how everything is to be laid out. Now these are your lenses that have already been prepped. I've got the dots on there telling me where they're going to go, how they need to be oriented in there. Place the first one onto the platform. Now these are called blocks, or as I like to call them, Jenny from the block, since you are from up there in the city. But on the back is a little magnet that's going to do its job twice tonight. But first I need to attach this to your lens. This is what's going to hold it in place into the edger while it's cutting. So I need to grab two double-sided adhesive stickers. The black side is the sticky side. I'm going to stick this onto the first block. Stick this onto the second one. I'm going to go ahead and pull the paperweight to make the black side sticky. Now I'm going to line this magnet up with the magnet inside this arm. And let's see, where's my stylus? Here it is. Your optical center height looks good. Those are lined up perfectly. I'm going to hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the right lens. Let's do the same thing now for the left lens. Pull the paperweight and make the black side sticky. Line up the magnet. Get everything lined up there, the optical center. Now this just mirrors the right side, the left side, where the pupillary distance of 31, the optical center height of 18. Get everything lined up in there just perfectly. The optical center, those two dots are lined up perfectly. Hit that button. The arm's going to come down and place the block onto the left lens. Now this is the edger. This is what costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out and buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter, and then you won't need this guy anymore to cut lenses for you. Now the actual cutting wheel is over here on the far right. It's going to act like a heavy grit sandpaper to grind away your lens material. This wheel in the center will flatten it out, and then underneath here is a little drill. Let me pull that out. so you can see that. Do a little maintenance on the machine here. This is the drill bit that is going to drill the holes in the lens so I can actually mount it. So, pull this back to where it was. Let's go ahead and program your shape into the computer. We're going to wake it up. That is the shape of the lens. Those are the two holes that we will be drilling in it. These are polycarbonate lenses. If they were plastic, which I would never use for a drill mount, high index plastic or Trivex, I would select that, but we're going to keep it on poly. I am going to polish the edges of your lenses, and I'm going to put a safety bevel on the front surface, the convex surface of the lens, as well as the concave. So I'm going to take the right lens, I'm going to put it into the chuck. Thank you, Chuck. Or as I like to call it, the Charles, because I don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck, but the magnet is in there and it's going to do its job twice. I'm going to hit the green start button, the door closes, the clamp shuts, and then the lens is going to be traced by two white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to go into the chassis of which it is. And then the old carpenter saying, measure twice, cut once. And it's actually going to do a third step. You will see it tap the lens. Every place where there's going to be a drill hole, it's measuring the thickness to know exactly how far to drill into the lens. Pretty cool, huh? So in just a moment, the lens is going to drop down onto the cutting wheel. Now if you see light flickering in the background, that is water running. It's there to catch the optical sawdust as it comes off of the cutting wheel. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic and high index plastic as well as Trivex cut wet. Now for the last 20 seconds you will see water spraying on the lens just to wash away any optical debris. Your lenses are made out of polycarbonate. Polycarb is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic. They are virtually unbreakable. Your lens is bulletproof up to 22 caliber and has both UVA and UVB protection built into the lens. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes, unlike the lotions, creams, and sprays that need to be reapplied every couple hours. And when you're in direct exposure to the sun, this is permanent and will never need to be reapplied. Now if you notice, your lens is completely flat, and it will stay that way, but it will be polished before it comes out of here. So it's going to smooth out any rough edges that were left over from off the cutting wheel to make everything nice and flat. Now this whole process will take about 25 minutes. I do appreciate your patience. Any drill mount, especially after polishing, will take a little bit longer than my normal videos, but at least that way you get to see something new tonight. Now the other nice thing about your lenses are you have the Crizal anti-glare coating. Of course you got the Crizal cloth, but Crizal is 3 features in one. The first feature is that it eliminates glare, especially driving at night in the rain, but street lights, stoplights, computer screens, overhead fluorescent lights. The second feature, it's a reflection-free lens, so that when someone's looking at you, they're not looking at their reflection in your glasses. Or if you take a picture, or if someone takes a selfie, or if you take a selfie, or someone else takes a picture with a flash, you won't see the flash lit up in your lens, you'll see just your eyes. So it makes for much better eye contact. This lens does not have the anti-glare coating. Now, it takes the machine that applies the anti-glare coating takes well over 24 hours. Now it's actually getting a polish on there now, so that is why your lens is becoming shiny around the edges. On this third wheel over to the far left. Now, the machine, as I mentioned, that applies the anti-glare coating, the Crizal coating, costs well over $1 million. It takes over 24 hours to vaporize 7 different coatings onto your lens. So because of the time and the investment, they put the hardest scratch coating possible. Now it's actually getting the very light safety bevel on the front surface of the lens before moving over and doing the same thing on the back concave surface of the lens. Now the back surface. Now here's something you don't get to see in most of my videos. Out comes that little drill tool, and it is going to drill in reverse order. It's going to spin backwards now. It is now going to drill through your lens. This is a 1.4 millimeter hole. It is a 1 millimeter drill. So once it goes through, you will see it wiggle around just to ream out the hole a little bit, to make it another 0.4 of a millimeter larger. So it's actually wiggling around now. It's going to drill the second nasal hole. When I say nasal, this is closest to your nose. And then I'll work on the temporal side of the lens. Now it's reaming it out. Rotate the lens. Now this is the one closest in on the temporal side. And it's just about to drill through and then ream out the hole just a little bit, not quite a half a millimeter in diameter, thicker than it is now. So in just a moment I will open this door with my mind. You like that? I can do other things with my mind. I can melt ice with my mind. I can. It just takes me a couple hours, but I can do it. So I'm going to open up the chuck. Thank you, Chuck. I'm going to dry off the lens. Let's go ahead and begin working on the left lens. Flip that over to L. That is the shape we will cut there. Put that in. Hit the start button. Check the time. 8:42 on Thursday, March 3rd, 45 degrees in Durham, North Carolina. Just like before, it's going to trace the shape of the left lens, the opposite of this one. Measuring the thickness of the lens at every point. And then the last of the check and balance system is checking the thickness of the lens where it's going to be drilling the holes. Same procedure from before. The cutting wheel starts to spin. It's going to move into place. And then your left lens is going to drop down onto the cutting wheel. This is an Essilor Nexia edger that has the drill capacity for those of you keeping score at home. Makes it so much easier than using the countertop drilling system. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this block. I want to remove any optical debris. Now I'm going to come down here. I'm going to use my thumbnail to scrape away any of the what is known as schwarf, that optical sawdust that is on your lens. Once I've removed it from the front and the rear, well, the rear first and now from the front, I carefully collect it into one pile and then I wipe it on the floor. I remind all the kids out there who are watching, I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess like this. So kids, if you want to make a mess when you grow up, you gotta stay in school. So these, I will show you how I mount these. I'm going to take 4 sleeves out. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Didn't know there's gonna be so much math involved. Now these are the hard sleeves that comes with it. They're just really hard to work with. I don't know why they have 2 kinds, but I prefer the softer kind. They're just slightly tinted a little bit more pink. So I'm going to slide this through the first hole. Slide this through the second hole. Now I need 2 tools to work on silhouettes. 3, as you'll see here in a moment. What I call the cigar cutter. And then the pliers that crimp everything down. So we snip that in there. We slide it through those 2 holes. And then we pinch. It's a boy! Congratulations! Let's do that again on the other side. Now bang the tool on the counter to get those to fall out the back side. They make a mess, they fall on the floor. I'm happy. Now the very important optical tool. You don't see it in a lot of my videos, but you'd be surprised at how often I use a thumbtack here. spend thousands on these every year, so don't lose them. So because I pinched it down and crimped it, I want to open up that sleeve just a little bit more. Now I'm sure not everyone does this, but I do. I'm going to ream that out a little bit more on that side, and now that side. Put that back in its spot. You'll see that in all my other videos now that I've let you in on it. So this is how the silhouettes come from the factory in Austria. I'm going to go ahead and take that one off. Take that one off. I'll even mail you this so you have all the manufacturer's original packaging, as I always do. So this is your bridge with the 2 mounting holes that are spaced 3 millimeters apart, and that's a 1.4 millimeter diameter. That's going to go in here. I press that into that first hole. I push where it holds into place somewhat. I come back with my pliers. Now, this one is flat, but this one, if you notice, will actually pivot somewhat due to the curvature of the lens. So I'm going to place that on the back side. And I hope all of this is in camera shot. And I squeeze down. That has been crimped on there, so the first side has been mounted. We're going to take the right temple. And again, this is from the series 5369 in color 6063. 19 bridge with a 150 temple length. Do the same thing on this side. Place it into the first 2 holes. Push down. That goes in there. The reason why I do that, that's why I open it up with my professional optical tools, so I can actually slide it in. And the softer ones are easier to push it in. The hard ones, I have, cut a groove into my finger trying to press so hard. Take the pliers, and hopefully you can see as I squeeze in, it goes in to the lens. I check and inspect. Everything is in there snug. That is your right lens good to go. I actually want to take my marker and put a dot. Let me hold it up to the light so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to darken that. That is the optical center height, as well as the pupillary distance from the center of your bridge. And if you missed any of that, let me recap. Oh, that's a bad joke, but you'll be telling it tomorrow. So I'm going to set that down upside down as your left lens continues to work. Now it is drilling the holes into the lens on the nasal side. Drill, drill, drill. Reaming it out as you see it wiggle around a little bit. So now it's doing the one closest to the nose. Now all silhouette frames sell for $269. As I mentioned, they do come with 1 free pair of prescription lenses. If you want to upgrade to the transition lens, you certainly can. If you want the Crizal anti-glare, you can get that too. Alright, Tommy, I want you to open the door with your mind this time. You ready, Tommy? Are you ready? Concentrate. Concentrate, Tommy. Well done. First day on the job and you're already opening the door. Alright, so let's dry this lens off so it is not slippery. Let's go ahead and take this block off. Break that suction. Run the thumbnail around. You see that little optical sawdust on a dark background? You can see that. You see that? You see that there? You see it falling? Plus, the other reason I let it fall right onto the floor is if anyone comes over and they see the floor is dirty, they think I've been working. I could fix it that way. Although Tommy in his last line of work made sure that everything was clean and spotless, he's probably terrified watching me drop stuff on the floor. But hey, Tommy, you're retired. Don't worry about it. Forget about it, alright? I believe that's what they say in New York. So I'm going to take this next sleeve, slide it in. If you notice the polished edges there, as you have requested. Slide this one in on this side. Where's my little circumcision tool? Here we go. Did I say that I meant cigar tool? Snip. Bang those out. Put them in on this side. Snip. Bang them out. Clean up as you go along. When I say clean up, look, one fell on my hand. You see that? You see that on there? It rolls off. And as I was saying, clean up as I go along. Make a mess as I go along is, really what it should be. But my wife hates it when I do that. That's right, I'm talking about you, honey. But I just had my anniversary 2 days ago, so I can do no wrong. So, yeah, that's what I said. She has a different opinion on the matter. So, I'm going to slide that in, press that in. Press down on it till I have a groove in my finger. Use the pliers. Put the pivoting side on the front and squeeze down till it goes in there firm. Do a quick inspection. One more little squeeze. There we go. Let's do the same thing now with the temporal side. Put in the 2 dots there. The 2 holes, I should say. Look, it's coming together. It's coming together. One last squeeze. Oops, oops, oops. No, it ain't coming together. Do I need to use my little thumbtack? Come on, thumbtack. Open them up. Open them up. Ream it out. Now, there was a blue one in there today, but I broke it, so I had to replace it with yellow. In the next upcoming videos, you can see how many more I break. And for those keeping score in the hall at home, this is where I keep my spares. Like that, just stuck right into the wall. You like that, do you? You like that. Of course, you see everything else I have thumbtacked to the wall here. You can see I'm a big fan of thumbtacks. There's no better optical tool. Okay, let's squeeze that in there. We are good. Let me do a quick inspection. That is good. Now I'm going to take my pen. Where'd my pen go? Where'd my pen go? I'm going to darken that so I can come down here to my lensometer. Come on down, lensometer. I'm going to put it in just above that red dot on that side and read the prescription. Let's see, spin the axis wheel to 5. Well, how much time do I have? I got to be out of here at 9. 9 minutes. We're good to go. Let's check the prescription. I'm reading 0.75 starting at 0, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75. That's good. You have 3 steps of magnification for the right eye. You have 2 steps of astigmatism correction. So we start at plus 75. We're going to back it down 2 steps to minus 50, which means we end up at plus a quarter. So that's good. We're going to spin the axis wheel to 175. I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of time to explain the prescription tonight. Let's check the power of the left eye. And we're getting plus 175. So we're between... There's 1, 1 1/4, 150, 175, 2. You have 2 steps of astigmatism correction. So we end up with a final power of plus 1 1/4. So that is made perfectly. I'm going to check your pupillary distance, 31 in both eyes for a total of 62. Let me turn this around. And when I put the PD stick there and measure on the left lens, we're getting 62 millimeters. You have the optical center height of 18. So I can do this to the bottom of the lens. We are getting 18 millimeters, so that is perfect. We're going to do the same thing now for the other one. 18 millimeters to the bottom of the lens, that is perfect. Now, of course, this is the point in every video, and I was just about to mention that I make sure these are in standard. Well, when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, as little as these things weigh, they don't weigh enough to slide off, but in case they are, but 80% of people have one ear that's higher than the other. So because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments if you ask them. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment first, also known as a 3-point stance. And those 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the lenses being 3. I set it on the counter and press down. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of that 80%. When I take mine off and set them on the counter, they wobble when I take mine off. And for those of you keeping score at home, again, you score keepers, I'm wearing the Versace 3199 in color 5118, which is the blue Havana, which is another way of saying tortoise. Flip these over. Press down. There is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly, and they do. Now, I field test every cleaning cloth that I give to people. Now, I also include instructions not only how to care for your eyeglasses, frames, and lenses so they last you for years, but also not only for the premium microfiber cleaning cloth that I provide, your Crizal cloth and your Silhouette cloth. You're going to have 3 now. But I include instructions on how to care for those and your case so they will last you for years. But I always field test every cloth before I ship it to make sure it works. So when you get this and you see these wrinkles in there, you know it works. So this is what it also, Tommy, hey, keep this in mind. I'm sending out a photo request, a little selfie request to have your picture on the website. I would love to have you wearing these. That way you can tell everyone you're a Silhouette model. Now, this is what your lenses look like clear. This is what they're going to look like when you jump in that convertible BMW 425. I'm going to go ahead and activate these over here in the corner, my little Silhouette box. My transitions box. Now, as you can see, all Silhouette lenses It takes about 30 to, let me make it so you can see. It takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken when you go outside. It takes a little bit longer when you come back inside, 45 seconds to a minute, minute 15. Now, Tommy, this is important. Pay attention. All transition lenses will turn dark on day one. Give them 2 weeks of exposure to the sun, and they will continue to darken every day for the first 2 weeks until they get to their final setting. After that, they will work for years with maximum performance. The only time they won't work if you're behind the windshield of a traditional car. That windshield has UV protection to stop the upholstery from rotting or your dashboard from cracking. That's why they won't turn dark in a car. And now, if you have a convertible, which you do, yes, they will darken. Or if you have a motorcycle or boat, they will darken. Just not behind inside of a car. Now, as soon as you step out of the car, they will darken. Now, they're also temperature sensitive, meaning that they will get darker when it's 85 degrees and below than they will when it's 95 and above. But I remind everyone, when it's in triple digits, you're miserable, they're miserable, everyone's miserable when it's 100 degrees outside. So that's it. That's the first time they've been activated. They will keep getting darker. Come on, Tommy, we talked about that. Don't you remember? Pay attention. But if anyone has any questions, you can email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com or simply click the Contact Me button on the website. Tommy in Howard Beach, New York. I hope you enjoyed watching as I cut prescription lenses with Transitions Gray and Crizal for your silhouette. What is your silhouette? It is the Silhouette. I can't read it above my head. 5369, color 6063. The shape is the 5399 and a 53 eye size, and hopefully everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.